Y'all, look what we made today. I'm going to try to angle a little bit. Stuffed bell peppers. They're going to be so good. If you want to see how I did them, follow along. They are not keto-fied. I'll give you the macros right now up front. 565 calories, 67 protein, net carbs is 25.7, and fat is 17. So if you are keto, no. But if you're not keto, you can make them. All right, come on, let's make them together. Hi, this is Terry. I've lost 180 pounds with a combination of keto, carnivore, and counting calories. I started my journey in August of 2019 and reached my goal in November of 2022. Now that I've reached my goal, I'm focusing on my health, both physical and mental. Thank you for watching. To get these stuffed peppers started, I'm going to do 1/2 of a serving of my onions and peppers. A serving is 85 grams, so we're going to do around 46 grams is what we have. So if you're going to make something, make sure you weigh it out so that way you know what to chart or you know what to log. Now let's go over to the to the stove here. I have my oven preheating at 350 and I'm going to put this in here. And we are going to be this will work. We're going to be sauteing these little bit of onion and peppers, and as it goes along they'll soften up and we'll incorporate it better. So I'm going to work on sauteing those. I'm going to set a timer for a couple minutes, about 3 minutes, and then we'll check back on this, and let's go over here in the meantime. When I'm done with these, I like to house it in a Ziploc bag. And for me, if I remember to put the UPC, whatever this label is on the outside, it's better. Because then if I'm making something, then I can yank it out and scan it. So now I'm gonna pop this in the freezer, and we're gonna start with figuring out our peppers. Except I forgot to tell y'all, I wanted to add in a little bit of mushrooms. Not a whole lot, not even a full serving, or not even a half serving, just a little bit to give it some fun flavor. All right, 26 grams. So I'm gonna go put this in my skillet. By the way, I got this recipe. I was watching Chef Jean Pierre, and I, of course, am modifying it to the way I want it, but you can also modify it to the way you want it. And you know how I usually prepare my peppers, but we're going to be doing them different today because I need the whole little cap. So I'm going to go in. I'm just going to kind of go in and cut a straight line down around. Dang it, that was not a good cut, but that's all right. So now that's what it leaves us with. I'm going to go in and cut out that vein. And that vein. And that vein. We're going to cut those out. And then we can pull them out, and I'll rinse these out, and I'll be right back. In the meantime, it's been 3 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and leave this lid off. I'd like to add just a little bit of the Teriyaki G Hughes teriyaki marinade. Not a lot, just a little. And a little of that. And a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Just like that much. We're going to stir that up. And now I want to kind of let it keep cooking till it gets a little bit more done on the vegetables. So I'll set a timer for 2 minutes. And let's go back to our peppers. You know I'm a waste not want not kind of girl, but I'm going to show you what Chef Jean Pierre showed. He shows where you cut around the stem and you make a little stand for your peppers. Makes a hole, and you can set that down, and then you can stand your mushroom up on it. That's what he did. But I think mine are going to stand up in here just fine. And I'd like to use this for my salads during the week, so I'm going to leave that here. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and do this other pepper the exact same way. I know it's on the scale, just ignore that for now. Sometimes I just need a place to set something. See, my way is way better. Look at that mess. I'm going to cut out the veins. I'll be right back. From here, I'm going to go ahead and add in my ground beef. This is already cooked ground beef. This is 73% ground beef. So it doesn't need to be cooked. We're just basically heating it up and getting those flavors mixed in together. I'm going to add some salt. I'm going to add some of my chicken and tomato bouillon. And we're going to add some diced tomatoes. Give me just a second. So we're going to zero out. We got our tomatoes on top of here. We're going to zero it out. I'd like to do like about 60 grams. The serving is 120 grams. So I'd like to do 60 grams, so we do like a half of a serving. There's 54, 59. All right, so there we go with that. And now I'm going to put the lid on this because the meat was still partially frozen. So we're going to put the lid on it and just let it kind of simmer together for a while. I'm going to turn it down because I don't want it to cook. We'll check in about 4 minutes. Now next up, Chef says you're supposed to oil the peppers. So you're supposed to oil them inside and out. So I'm just kind of spraying a little bit of oil on them. I'm spraying my hand though to make it a little easier. You said that, and then you put a little salt on them. Alright. Now we can get rid of those. And now we're going to, like I said, we're going to pop them in the oven at 350. He put it at 350 for about 15 minutes. So I'm going to put these in the oven, and then we'll get back to everything else. In the meantime, these will be in the oven. In the meantime, these peppers, I'm going to go ahead, the top part of the peppers, I'm going to go ahead and cut those up. And I'm going to put these down in my pickled veg. So that's a good way to use these extra pieces. Because you know, waste what I say, waste not, want not, y'all. So I'll have these peppers and I'll be putting them on my salads and whatever else I use my pickled veg for. I think that's pretty much it, but anyway, so there we go. So those can go in there, and I'll be back in just a little bit. All right, let's take a look at this so we can, and I will have much more stuffing than I will actual peppers. There'll be more than fits in the peppers, but that's all right. It'll be just fine. I'd like to put some Worcestershire sauce in here. I think that would be good. All right, just a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Not a whole lot, just enough to give it a nice little savory flavor. Just gonna kind of mix that all together here. It's probably gonna be a little bit more calories than I usually have, but that'll be all right. It's gonna be yum yum. And then what I'll do is when I bake it, I'll put the extra in like another little dish or something of this stuff right here. Because now we're gonna add in some rutabaga. I'm doing rutabaga because, like most of the time when they do stuffed bell peppers, they have rice. Well, you know, I don't do rice, and I can't stand cauliflower rice. I know. I just don't like it. It's who I am. So we're going to do, let's see, 70 grams of rutabaga. It's going to hopefully help absorb some of that liquid down in there. We're not cooking it all the way to mush, but anyway, so now Let me check my ingredient list and see if there's anything else. Okay, so I grabbed the little glass dish with the peppers on it and weighed it, and it was 865. And then I had an empty one and I weighed it and it was 501. So the amount of peppers we have is 364 grams of peppers. So like I said, we're doing this so that way we kind of have an idea of what our macros will be. In the meantime, I'm just going to cover this. I'm going to turn it off and just no, I'm not going to cover it because I want the water to get out of there. So I'm just going to let this kind of sit here, and I'll turn it down to number 2, which is like the second lowest setting. I know, duh. Second lowest setting is number 2. Derp. But I don't think I've seasoned it. Let's give it a taste. Nope, I have not. Alright, the seasonings we're going to use. This is called roasted garlic, rosemary, and sea salt. I'm going to put some of that in there. And then we're going to put in some of our Bravo Avo. Yeah. Let me stir all that and see how those flavors taste. And again, I'm definitely going to have more stuffing than I am peppers. And it'll be all right. I'll eat it. You know I will. You know I'm going to eat it. Let's pull out a piece. Yeah, buddy. You could use more salt. But I ain't going to worry about it. So I'm going to let this sit. And I'll be back whenever that's done. Alright, so I kind of got my little station here. It'd be better if I had more peppers, but that's alright. So now, I'm just going to try to do it very carefully. They could have gone a little longer, but I like my things al dente. I don't want things to be all mushy. So, it's hoping I can, there we go. I'll put that on the top. Just trying to do it and not make a mess. Let's see. Can I do it and not make a mess? Can I do it and not make a mess? Highly unlikely. I'm a little bit like Dennis the Menace. Let me see if I can push that down a little more. A little bit like Dennis the Menace. There you go. Now listen. I guess I'll just put this last little bit on my plate. I don't really know what to do with it. Part of me says just stick it in the bottom. And then when that dish cools, I'll just eat it out of there. But I don't know what the right thing to do is. I'll just set this to the side. And I'm going to put these back in the oven. Sorry, my timer was going off. So I'm going to put this back in the oven. Chef did it for about another 20 minutes. So I'm going to pop this in the oven for 20 minutes. This will just be maybe a garnishment on my plate. So on this will go for another 20 minutes. Yum, yum. So next we're going to do the final step. This is how I'm going to know. Like I said, because I want to, when I do a recipe, I like to know all the macros, even if it's more than what I typically eat, or even if it's more than what I should eat. I still want to have all the numbers down. Oh, dadgum. Give me just a second. This is going to fight with me. Okay, so you all know I try to do a lower fat, not fat-free, but a lower fat. So this is the fat-free mozzarella cheese. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on the top. I keep it frozen in my freezer because I don't use cheese a whole lot. I've got a ton of cheese in my freezer. I should take some to Judy. I bet she would like that. Hopefully tomorrow's Terry will remember to take her some. I have like a bunch of that kind that you need to slice up. And if I'm always stealing Mom's sliced cheese after she slices it. All right, so let's write this down. So 44 grams of cheese. All right, so now I will put this back in the oven for about 10 more minutes. And when that's done, we will serve it up and eat it. Look at that. Don't they look pretty? So fat-free cheese doesn't melt very easily. So they say if you rinse it off, but I ain't got time for that kind of stuff. But we are going to give it a taste. Hang on, give me just a second. Okay, I don't know how to do it. We're just going to cut it and see how it goes. Got me a sharp steak knife and I'll just turn it. That cheese toasted even. Alright. Hang on. Let me get a good bite ready. It's steaming. I'm going to have hashtag regrets, but Oh my goodness. If you do not hear angels singing, something is wrong with you. Oh my goodness, that is so delicious. Go Terry. Go Chef Jean Pierre. Go Terry. Go Chef Jean Pierre. I didn't really follow his recipe, but I got a lot of the ideas from him. So this is my modified version. Oh my stars and garters. This was a good one, y'all. This would be good as an unstuffed peppers too, but yes, please. I'm going to go eat this right now. Ain't got time for y'all. Love ya. Toodaloo.